Okay. So, hey ladies, welcome to Friday. We have finally made it to the end of the week, a very long week, an exhausting week, and here we are. I am so happy that I will no longer have to engage in any more Zoom meetings this week. This is it for me. I have a couple of phone calls that don't require me to look at anybody's face and try and just be present where I have to have my camera on, but I'm happy to be in this space with you all. So, oh goodness. I am facilitating today's conversation surrounding the need of community. I sent out an email to my mailing list saying that we have, sorry, there's a lot going on downstairs and it's so frustrating. I'm gonna have a very real moment with y'all. It is so much easier for me to be at home and in my own space with my child because I can navigate those things and tell him just sit down rather than, although I would think that it would be, there are times when it is super helpful to be with family and there are times when it is not. Those times are when they get frustrated with Aiden and I know how to navigate those. So that is one of the issues that I have to deal with by being in not my own space. Anyway, because of that, I value community and I think that community is essential and it is important and that is why we are here today. But I spoke in my emails about the importance of creating spaces for Black women and women of color and how I started that journey in 2019 when I created the Mommy Moves blog. Sorry, 2018 when I created the Mommy Moves blog and transitioned it into Courtney Chanel LLC in 2019. Curated all of the spaces that I have made, which is Millennium Mom, which was formerly the Level Up Luncheon, then I Am Not Superwoman, then the Empowerment Expo, and now Breaking Ground, all of which I find to be important in us maintaining safety, but also, and that safety is safety of presence, but also safety of emotion and ability to be transparent and transformative. Times like these highlight the need for spaces like those, or like the ones I'm describing, including Breaking Ground, because we can share our experiences without judgment and without having to field the questions or explanation to other races or people who don't understand our experience. So I am happy to be able to bring these spaces to you and want to give you the space today to share how you are feeling at the end of this week, what you are looking forward to now that this week is done or concluding, and you know, what you're looking for the weekend. Welcome, ladies who just joined us. I was just sharing about why Breaking Ground is important and why other spaces curated specifically for Black women and women of color are important, and you know what we get out of them. So I want to hear from you all what you get out of having a space specifically curated for you, what you feel when you go to spaces specifically for you, and if you curate those spaces, what you get out of creating those spaces for others. So let's talk about it. Talk about it. And then I'll share something from a conversation that I had earlier today that just gave me all the feels of the words that I needed to describe what this week has been. So feel free to jump in.
I'll jump in first today. So this space is very necessary, especially today. I'm a little, as you can see by my face, y'all know I'm usually all bubbly and happy and hey girl, what's up? I'm a little irritated right now. I'm not going to project that onto anybody here, but I was just like, I was in a meeting for work and I was just like, yo, I gotta go. Like, y'all can talk about this if y'all want, write me up, do what you gotta do, but I gotta go because I need to go to that space that I've been going to that's been keeping me healthy every single day. So like, spaces like this, like I encourage people to attend if they don't find it necessary or don't find the time in their day to attend a space such as this. That's their personal preference, but I know it's been good for my mental during this time. I think we need more spaces like this for both men
I'll
and
second
women.
that. This space was definitely needed. I just week is where that's not the focus, where they're not talking about the disruption that they've been caused and things like that. So this is needed.
Thank y'all for sharing. Sorry, my internet connection was not doing me justice. So I missed part of Taylor's, but I got the crux of what she was saying, and I heard what you shared, Brandon. So thank you. Let me make sure I am letting people in today. All right, we are popping in. We are popping up. So
if you need a host, I'll let people in for you.
Okay, let me see. So I actually shared, and it looks like it got deleted. So I'm going to share it again. Here is a survey because I want to make sure that I'm giving you all what you need. While we are sharing this space together. So if you could take, I think it'll take like 2 minutes before we continue the discussion. If you could take this survey real quick, and please, I pray it has access and that I don't have to fight with the Google form. But if you could take 2 minutes to complete this survey at the end, you don't have to do it now, at the end, then that will help me a lot in creating spaces like these and making sure that we continue to use them. So welcome, ladies who have just joined. One of the things that I want to point out that I wrote in the email to my email list this morning was removing ourselves from the white gaze brings about a freedom from what whiteness represents. And then I put oppression. I put my energy into this because I am my client. As a Black woman of color, I find it important to create spaces that are refreshing, spaces where I have no problem telling white women that this is not made for you. This is not made for you to be comfortable. This is for us. There's no way a white person could understand what we go through or provide the support we need to heal from decades of racism, prejudice, and bigotry. This is for us. There's no way to help a white person understand what we go through or provide the support we need to heal. Healing can't take place in the presence of those who represent the oppressor, even if they may not have directly contributed to that oppression. So what came up in a conversation with one of my sorors this morning via text, when I text her, "How are you?" was a shared sentiment that I couldn't really put into words. And literally, my message to her was just, "How are you doing?" And the response was, "I'm tired." And it was exclaimed. It was a lengthy tired that was written out. And she proceeded to say, "All night I've been grappling with so many things, but one thing in particular. Black people at work kind of attacking the white people for their silence, white people being silent, white people not knowing what to do, some white people saying things and then being attacked for saying something dumb, white people being scared of being attacked for saying the wrong thing, our non-Black and non-white people not knowing what to do, some Black people thinking we all are a monolith and want the same response from everyone." And then closed with, "I went 3 days hoping no white person would talk to me at all. I just ain't want to hear from them or see them, to be honest." And when I tell you those are the words that I could not put into words, I was like, that is it. That is exactly how I've been feeling. That is exactly what was going on. And that did it for me. That did it for me. What do we think? How have we been feeling this week? What has been going through your mind? What have you been feeling in any shared space that you've been in, going through work, so forth? Take the floor.
So I actually work in a bubble because I quit my marketing job to work for Black women.
Mhm.
And like, because my bosses were changing cars like we change panties. And that didn't sit right with my soul that he would just come in and out, come in and out. And there are women who need my aesthetic, who need the marketing, who need the strategies, who need things that I was supplying this 6-foot Russian Jew that I could give somebody who looked like me. So I created a bubble for myself, like I said, the past 2 or 3 years, where I only work for women who look like me. Like, and I spend my life and my, all of my resources pretty much just like pooling, to get the things to thrive them. I'm growing women millionaires. So for me, like, this is a bubble that I created for myself, and it keeps me like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy, because I'm cultivating, something different. I'm doing business in a different way. So to see the world kind of peek into how important it is to invest in each other and like have equity in each other and like support each other, it's nice and it's refreshing. But for me, there's a pause in like jumping in the whole thing with the media and like the social aspect of it, because I don't want this to be a moment. This needs to be a movement. We need to look inward, to get ahead. And I see that it's becoming a trend. Let's buy Black. No, like, I've been working on this market for like a year and a half. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is something serious to me. We need to really turn inward and support each other. A village, a tribe is so important, because we mirror each other. We can't keep letting things get so integrated if we haven't established what we're doing. We have to relay the foundation of who we are as a people, as a collective, and that takes community. That takes us as a tribe. It doesn't take allies and this part. No, it's not. You're not including everybody. This is not an all lives matter moment. This is you matter to me so much that I'm putting my money, time, and energy on the line for you. You know what I mean? Like, let's start walking the walk. We can post memes all day, but I say all that to say that I woke up this morning heavy, because today's not Breonna Taylor, but today's Breonna's birthday. She would have been 27, and a couple of us are past that age. We wouldn't have thought that our lives would end at 27. Where the hell would I be if I died at 27? Things got good when I was 27. So like, there's nobody to talk to about that kind of stuff with. You know what I mean? Because everybody is so in their own world. Like, nobody lives in my bubble with me, where I'm always constantly talking to these entrepreneurial women and women with like-mindedness. So like, community like this and community that the ones I'm creating are so important. Like, they're literally like what's keeping my mental like my mental state like intact. So I thank you for this platform, and keep doing the good work. It's necessary, it's needed, because this is my check on your strong friends. You know what I mean? Because I'm the solution person in my where I navigate. You know what I mean? So this is my check. Y'all checking on y'all strong friend right now. This is where I come in to recharge my battery, listen, absorb, teach, and grow, because we need to be strong together for each other.
Yep. Thank you for sharing, Joanne. Ooh, geez. Those are words. Go ahead, Ty.
So, when you sent me the link, I was like, yes, I definitely need this today. I try to hop on as often as I can. Sometimes I'll be in like Zoom meetings from 10 to 6. But when I can hop on, I definitely appreciate like the community and the camaraderie that you built here in this space. And what I've just been grappling with, like, for the past couple of days, somebody put up something and it was like it wasn't necessarily a meme. I think they just like wrote it out on their Facebook, but you know how like you could put like color behind it or whatever. But it captured my feelings, because and I think I screenshot it so I could just read it off. But it's not long. It's short. It says, I've been reflecting on how often I've had to be the silent Black girl, so I'm not viewed as the angry Black woman. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Like, there's so many things that like I want to say, and I don't say it just because like I don't want to be viewed as the angry Black woman. In case
aware of how we are feeling in different situations, because if it doesn't feel right and if it ignites something in you, that means something ain't right, and it probably is racism. I think the problem is because we have been in white spaces for so long, or spaces that are occupied predominantly by white people, especially in the workplace. It is, or for Sika, you being in India, it is where We are often silenced. We are often very conscious of the fact that we may be viewed as the angry Black woman. And that is why I'm not Superwoman exists, because that's not who I am. And just because I'm voicing something does not mean that I am angry, even though with this, I am angry. I am angry, but just because I'm voicing my opinion and I am challenging something, my challenge should not be a threat to you. And if it is a threat to you, then you need to look at yourself and figure out why it's a threat. That's not my problem. Heavy is the load to lift, y'all. We lifting a heavy
Well,
load.
I could share a different one, because you got to cut out this. You got to cut out the work one. So I'll share the email that I had to send. The second email I had to send. I'm in this philanthropic group. It's called Impact 100 Essex, and so there's national chapters of Impact 100. But anywho, they sent out, like, I guess their version of a statement, but it was like literally like 2 sentences and then like a whole like soliloquy about like things that we had to do. So like business as usual, right? And they didn't even call out like what it was. They just said like inequities and injustice, and we have to continue to support our brothers and sisters in Essex County. And I was just like, like, I know we all cut this money and we are giving to this organization because in order to be in it, you have to give like $1,000 check every year, really $1,100 per year. So I feel like maybe because of that and because of some of the women that are in it, they feel like we're maybe a different kind of Black, if you will. And so like they just really didn't even like address it. And I guess they thought that nobody was really going to say anything to them. And so the next email I got was a cultivating resilience workshop email. Now, months ago, I had asked them to also do like anti-racism and implicit bias training, because when we're sitting in our meetings, it feels like some people, you know, got some bias. And so I said to them, you know, I think we really should do this as a group, as an organization. And there was some conversation, but I wasn't privy to if it was going any further or not. So then I sent them a very long, lengthy email that included resources, why what their email said it was tone deaf, and that as a Black woman, I don't need to cultivate any more resilience because I've built up a reserve. And if anything, you need to be training your members on, you know, anti-racism and their own implicit bias, because it's ridiculous. And then I had people reach out to me after the fact who are like on grants committees with me. And, you know, one of the ladies, she's of color, and she said, you know, thank you for speaking up. I should have spoken up sooner when these things happen. So I'm glad speaking up. She felt like,
sorry, y'all, my internet connection went unstable again. Even with me being closer to the router. Ty, thank you for sharing both of those experiences, because they tell some stories and they share what we go through. We shouldn't have to go through the things that we go through during this time. Whew. Anyone else want to share? It's a tough time, y'all. So how do we navigate these things? What are some things that you were doing for yourself to make sure that you were staying well?
Self-care and affirmations. Like, I have my vision board sticky notes all over the place. And we live in a time today where our existence is the resistance. You know, us breathing is an act of protest. Us walking and having the little bit of liberties we do is an act of protest. It don't have to be heavy where we gotta wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. We don't have to go out in the street and risk, you know, our jobs or our, you know, whatever. We can protest just by simply being our best selves. And what's been helping me is just affirming myself. I have vision word sticky notes all over here. She's one of my clients. I love her dearly. I love Martha. And I just like have to build myself up and be the best person that I can be to help each one, you know. And that's just as simple as I got to keep it, making sure that I'm okay enough to get through this day and fulfill my workload and see another day and be well enough to get through the next day. And, you know, it's that's all that I can do is be great. And if you guys want vision word sticky notes, I'll give you some for free. just DM me on Instagram. I'll send you some. There's like all packs for all different types of things you may need. And it's been my saving grace seeing physical words all around the house. Like, you are great, you are wonderful, you are destined to do great things. Like, just speaking life into myself and just reminding myself of my purpose here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Another way, like, you know, staying sane and during this time is to remember, like, we don't have to carry all of this burden. You know, a part of me is like, okay, I'm not doing enough. I'm not out there. You know, I haven't done this, this, and that. And I kind of felt guilty because I was supposed to do this virtual baking class this evening. And I was like, should I do something like that? Like, there's other things to focus on. But the girl who I was doing with, she's also a Black woman, she sent the email. She basically said the same sentiment. She was like, you know what, I contemplated canceling this because there's so much going on and nobody really knows how to feel. But this is my escape and what helps me, you know, remain okay. So I am going to go forward with it. And, you know, if people want to. So that made me feel better. Like, you know, we all are thinking that, but we deserve self-care as well. We deserve to preserve how we're feeling. So now I'm excited for the baking class this evening. I'm going to do it and eat something good.
Yes, that is a self-care practice for you. It's something you enjoy. So we have to do what we enjoy, especially during this time. So thank you both for sharing those. Deja, we want to hear from you and our time is going down. So yes, Deja, please share.
Okay, I'll make it quick. But
No, don't rush.
I just wanted to say, like, I know that there's a lot going on right now and people are overwhelmed, don't know which way to go. But I also think on a more optimistic side, this is also a very imaginative period for us to be in, where I'm starting to see a lot of trends of people who are really getting back into like nature, really rediscovering themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's really the way that we were intended to live, like naturally. So I think that this is a really good time for that self-recovery and, you know, like that, especially for Black women who don't really feel like we're often in a place where we can be vulnerable. We always have to be strong. But now is the time to really like tend to family, you know, tend to like our well-being. And, you know, if you have children, like I don't have children, to really like set those principles and like those standards in your household. So when we do, I guess when society does open back up and we can re-enter like the places that we usually go, we go in with a different, you know, set of eyes. I've been reading this book called Sisters of the Yam by Bell Hook. And she talked a lot about how, you know, we're naturally people of the earth, you know, like this is our natural ways of being, is being in nature, like gardening, tending to the land, using like medicinal and herbal ways of healing versus, you know, big pharma and things like that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a lot of the oppression that we experience and a lot of the things that we feel is because we've strayed so far from that. And we've sort of got into this place where we rely heavily on Western ideology, Western, like, you know, begin with those things. Being that imaginative space, you know, find those you didn't speak to in like a few months and just really like use this time to do like the inner work on yourself, because you know, when it comes to transformation, you know, it starts with self. And, you know, if we all get to this place where we're focusing on ourselves collectively, then we'll be able to show up better, you know, in public spaces or in communal spaces. And I think that that's what this period has been teaching me. And then, like, even in the midst of everything that's going on, and I've even found myself having to check out and holding myself to checking out, because I'll say I'm unplugging today and then I'll be back on the computer or engaging in conversation on Facebook about what's going on, and then I have to say no, turn it off, step away, like go paint your nails, go wash your hair, do something like that. But I think that there's a bright side to all of this. Like, if we, you know, focus on that imaginative space and ways we can reimagine society and the things that we want for ourselves and for our families, and the types of foundations that we want to leave behind for generations, you know, that's going to come after us.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Deja. I have so many thoughts. I do want to invite you all to do a quick square breathing exercise with me before we close out, because I can do that in less than 4 minutes. And the way that square breathing works, and the reason why there's a couple of reasons why I'm being intentional about us doing the breathing exercise, because we need to breathe, because we are spending it's not only because we need to breathe, we can breathe. Earlier in the week, we talked, or the weeks are starting to blend. So we listened to the Black Lives Matter meditations. And one of the affirmations that she said during the meditation was, you are breathing, or you can breathe, so breathe. So I definitely want to lead us in the breathing. And thank you to those of you who are just joining us. We are about to close out, but the recording will be available. So welcome. I'm glad that you are here. And I want to empower you to come back and watch the videos if you've missed previous sessions, because we are here Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. And especially this week, each session has been transformative. So I want to push you to remember to breathe, to remember to take that inhale and that exhale, hold it, to reflect, to give yourself that space and that time, because we are doing a lot of heavy lifting, whether it is just showing up at work or showing up for the strong friend, being the strong friend, or navigating spaces at home. We need to remember that we are not only dealing with this pandemic still, but navigating a ongoing lifelong crisis for all of us. It is, and I'm gonna call it just that, a lifelong crisis. We are dropping some gems in this chat right now, so I have to figure out how to save these somewhere. If somebody can screenshot those, because it never gives me I might have to look to see. So before I lead you in
I saved the chat for you.
Thank you so much, Ty. So if all of you can click the Google form that I just dropped in the chat again, so it's open on your window, I would love to have that feedback. Of course, you're not required, but it does help me curate the space for you. And now I will facilitate the square breathing that you can do on your own, in any place, anytime, sitting in traffic, sitting at home when you need just 2 minutes and you're in the bathroom, and for as long as you want. Okay, so square breathing is exactly what it sounds like. You're gonna take an inhale for 4 seconds and hold it for 4 seconds, exhale, inhale, and continue to do it in that cycle. So I'm gonna invite you to either close your eyes or leave them open, and we're gonna breathe. So you're gonna inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna do it again. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for engaging in today's discussion with me. We are going to fix this limit on the 40-minute thing, because if I don't by this weekend, Taylor is going to get me, but she's holding me accountable so we can have more time when we need it. I will see you all on Monday at 1 p.m. Please, please, please fill out the survey for me so I can hear from you. I know that some of you have shared already, but I definitely want you to make sure you're getting the resources and everything I'm sharing. As well as share it with whomever else. And testimonials are everything when we are trying to support and curate spaces for everyone else. So thank you. Stay grounded in this weekend. Make sure that you breathe. Make sure you're intentional about your breath. I love y'all. You are all amazing, and share. So thank you so much. All right. Bye. And thank you, Tasha.